Hi, I'm Christina Gomez, and this is my speech one. So, about 2 years ago, I visited La Paz, Bolivia, and of the many memories that I have from my visit, there's one that is probably most vivid and striking memories that I have, which was at an all-girls orphanage that I visited. As we were being toured and communicating with the young kids, I remember being extremely taken back when I was introduced to this 11-year-old girl. Shortly after we were introduced and communicated, she was called Mommy. Hearing this kind of took me back and further intrigued me to understand the children of the streets in La Paz, Bolivia, and kind of what leads them to these situations. So I'm going to talk to you all today about how kind of the background that leads these children to the streets, the street children themselves, and some of the solutions that are being in the process of being executed. So, according to Emily Gray's article, Born in Bolivia, the number of abandoned children will not decrease unless the country's poverty decreases as well. Parents in Bolivia are at the point that they are just kicking their kids out or sending them to extended family members because they simply just cannot afford them or support them. And in the article, Homes for the Homeless by Daniel Escalante, he describes stories of parents who have had to leave their children with family members, friends, anyone, or just simply kick them out to let themselves earn money in order to be able to support their kids in the future. The problem is, in the meantime of that they're working, the children will either run away or get kicked out as well, and be forced to fend for themselves on the street with alternative living conditions. This is a really common scenario in Bolivia and becoming a large problem. The parental neglect, poor living conditions, and lack of options for the kids to go to are what pushing the kids to find these alternative living situations. Now I'm going to talk about the street children themselves. So, the children on the street are victims. According to Alexander Melian, she describes the issue these children face when she says, "We, as a program, want to support girls who have been victims of human trafficking, domestic violence, rape, early pregnancy, or have been homeless. These children have a higher rate of dropping out of school or not even enrolling at all." So although this article focuses on girls, there are still problems with boys as well. The issue with girls is that they are more vulnerable to emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. And this kind of brings me back to my introduction about the 11-year-old girl who was actually abused by a family member and was carrying the child of a family member. These children, as a result, will kind of create these homes under bridges or anywhere in the city and kind of create families with the other children of the street. This gave the organizations a new outlook that are trying to help the poverty in the children of how to approach the problem with new solutions. While I was in Bolivia, we connected with an organization from Duke University who works at primarily at an indigenous hospital called Arco Iris, as well as orphanages and pathway homes. These places are considered safe houses for orphans, and they will offer homes, food, and even education. They're usually occupied during the day, but they're not as populated as the population of children on the streets. So as a solution, with a group from Duke University, they have raised money for ambulances and vans that will drive around to the locations that the children are most prominently living and offer free education classes. This solution went viral because another project arose when Melian's article, she said they wanted to transform an old school bus into a classroom with seats, a chalkboard, and even a library. They call it the MOBA project. The motto of these groups is to give the children on the street an opportunity to educate themselves and rise out of poverty on their own. So because of their traumatic past, they kind of have a hard time following direction and structure. So a lot of the solutions haven't been as beneficial or resulted in a positive outcome when the children were forced into homes for the orphanages for like a period of time. That is good initially, but over time, to keep from relapsing, they try to instigate the children to want to educate themselves and better their lives out of drugs and alcohol by providing the education and opportunities on their own terms in their environments that they're comfortable with. So this has actually been proven to be a more beneficial route than the forceful approach, over time. And all in all, I hope that these organizations are able to provide the support and benefits to these children to rise out of poverty on their own terms. So ongoing solutions are being brainstormed to improve the parental guidance of these children, as well as programs that will protect and educate the children so that they do have the opportunity to rise out of their situation and be successful in life. Thank you.